They don't tell you the truth when you're young. They say you can be anything, do anything, achieve anything. And maybe they mean it. But what they don't tell you is that most people won't. Not because it's impossible. Not because the system is rigged. Not because of luck or fate or destiny, but because somewhere along the way, they give up what was already theirs. This is why most dreams die. They don't explode in some dramatic failure. They don't collapse with some final declaration. Number dreams die quietly, softly, slowly, one compromise at a time, one doubt at a time, one excuse at a time. The graveyard of ambition is not filled with people who failed. It's filled with people who settled. You see, every great life, every titan, every legend, every mind that shaped the world, they weren't handed their dream. They were tested for it, ground down by the world to see if they'd still stand up. Every giant walked through hell, looked fear in the eye, and refused to blink. Because the truth is, dreams demand a price, and most people aren't willing to pay it. You say you want the dream, but do you want the nights where you don't sleep? Do you want the mornings where doubt sits heavy in your chest? Do you want the days where nothing makes sense and everyone thinks you're crazy? Because that's the toll, that's the test. And most people, they back away, they shrink. They whisper to themselves, maybe this isn't for me, when what they should be screaming is, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. Mindset is the gatekeeper. It's not talent that makes legends. It's not intelligence. It's not even luck. It's mindset. The way you speak to yourself in silence. The way you interpret pain. The way you choose to see the storm. Because storms will come, and you can either curse the sky or learn how to dance in the rain. Carnegie saw poverty and built an empire. Edison failed 10,000 times and still lit the world. Lincoln was crushed by defeat after defeat, yet stood tall when his country fell to pieces. These men weren't gods. They were humans, but humans possessed by an unshakable mindset. They didn't ask the world for permission. They took their vision and carved it into reality, inch by inch, scar by scar. That's the foundation. You have to decide, not hope, not wish, decide who you are and who you will become. The world bends to those who refuse to break. And belief? Belief is the fuel. Not the cheap kind that fades when things get hard, but the deep, bone-level belief that whispers go when everything in your life screams stop. If your belief can be broken by failure, it was never belief. It was convenience. True belief is forged in contradiction. It is choosing to see the invisible, choosing to trust something that does not yet exist. Every great achievement was once a ridiculous idea. The airplane, the internet, the idea that one man could change a nation with a dream. People mocked the Wright brothers. They called Ford insane for building a car for the masses. They laughed at Disney. A talking mouse? That'll never work. But belief isn't concerned with laughter. It is blind to ridicule. Belief doesn't check the weather before it takes flight. It builds wings and jumps. And once you believe, really believe, clarity follows. You start to see differently. The world sharpens. The noise fades. You stop asking for signs and start becoming one. You don't chase every shiny distraction because you know exactly what matters. Clarity is a weapon. When you know what you're after, you become unstoppable. You stop negotiating with mediocrity. You stop entertaining opinions that don't align with your destiny. Clarity kills confusion, and confusion is the enemy of action. That's why so many drift. They don't lack ambition, they lack clarity. A ship without a compass doesn't stay in place. It drifts with the tide. Eventually it crashes. And your dream, it needs direction, not just desire, not just passion, purpose. Because purpose is deeper than passion. Passion is fire. Purpose is fuel. Fire burns out. Fuel keeps going. Purpose is what keeps you moving when passion fades. And trust me, it will. The excitement wears off. The motivation fades. The applause stops. And all you're left with is you. That's when purpose matters most. Purpose is rooted in your why, and your why must be bigger than you. If your dream is only about what you get, you'll quit the moment you don't get it. But if your dream is about what you give, you'll keep going even when you've got nothing left. Think about Dr. King. Think about Mandela. Think about any leader who stood up when they could have stayed silent. Their dreams weren't about comfort. They were about calling. And you have that same fire inside you. But you've got to awaken it. Discipline is how. Discipline is the bridge between the dream and the reality, the cold steel that carries you from idea to execution. Everyone wants the dream. Few want the discipline. But you don't get to rise without sacrifice. You don't get to shine without sweat. You don't get to lead without learning how to obey your own commitments. Discipline isn't punishment. It's freedom. It's saying, I refuse to be a prisoner of emotion. I will not be ruled by mood. I will not wait to feel like it. The successful don't ask how they feel. They ask what needs to be done. Discipline doesn't care about comfort. It cares about becoming. You can scroll or you can sculpt your mind. You can complain or you can conquer, but you don't get to do both. And that's where action takes the stage, because thinking is useless without doing. Dreams rot in the minds of those who never act. You say you're waiting for the right time? There is no perfect time. There is only now. The world doesn't reward intention. It rewards movement. You must move, even if your hands shake, even if your voice trembles, even if your heart races, especially if it does. Because every step you take weakens fear. Every action builds the muscle of progress. Ford didn't wait. He built. Disney didn't wait. He drew. Jobs didn't wait. He created. The only difference between a dreamer and a doer is action. And action is how you speak to the universe. It's how you say, I'm serious. Not with words, but with work. The kind that no one sees. The kind that doesn't post well on social media. The kind that isn't glamorous, but is absolutely necessary. Because every overnight success was built in the shadows. Every spotlight stands on top of unseen grind. But in the midst of that grind, in the chaos of the climb, there must be gratitude. Not the polite kind, not the shallow, Instagrammable kind, but soul-deep, warrior-grade gratitude. The kind that says, I'm grateful even when it's hard. I'm grateful even when it hurts. Gratitude turns pain into purpose. It turns pressure into power. It turns obstacles into opportunities to rise. Without gratitude, you become bitter, hardened, entitled. But with it, you become unbreakable. Because gratitude doesn't just change how you feel. It changes how you fight. When you're grateful, you stop seeing setbacks as signs to quit. You start seeing them as proof that the journey is real. You begin to understand the mountain wouldn't be worth climbing if it didn't try to throw you off. Gratitude anchors you. It reminds you why you started. It silences the noise. It grounds you when your ego wants to run, when your fear wants to hide, when your doubt starts whispering that it's not worth it. And after gratitude comes adaptability and the lost art of evolution. This world doesn't owe you consistency. It won't hand you a stable road. It shifts, it changes, it breaks the rules. If you're rigid, you'll snap. If you're stuck in how it's supposed to go, you'll never survive how it actually goes. Adaptability is intelligence in motion. It's the ability to pivot without losing your purpose, to shift your methods without abandoning your mission. It's Darwin's lesson, dressed for the modern world. It is not the strongest who survive, but the most adaptable to change. Thomas Edison didn't just build a light bulb. He built a mindset. 10,000 failures, and each one was feedback. Imagine that. 10,000 different ways the world told him no. And every single time, he adjusted. Every single time, he evolved. He said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Most people won't find 10, they hit 2, maybe 3, and already they're packing their bags, writing eulogies for their dreams. But those who win, they see failure as information, correction, direction. That's resilience, the iron core of a dreamer who refuses to be buried. Resilience is the voice that says, "You can knock me down, but you'll never knock me out." It's the grit to rebuild from ruins, the power to smile through scars, the strength to stand while bleeding. It is the unseen armor of those who outlast the world's fire. Every hero has been humbled. Every warrior has wept. Resilience is not the absence of pain. It is the defiance of it. Lincoln lost more elections than he won before becoming the face of unity. Oprah was told she was unfit for television before becoming a media empire. Walt Disney was fired for a lack of imagination. What they had was resilience wrapped around belief, discipline welded to purpose, a refusal to surrender to what was because they saw what could be. But resilience is not brute force. It is powered by wisdom. And wisdom comes from learning, relentless, ruthless learning. If you're not growing, you're dying. And that's not just a motivational phrase, it's a law of nature. Stagnation is death. Movement is life. You have to become a student of your dream. Study the failures. Study the greats. Learn what they did and what they didn't. Watch how they moved. Read what they wrote. Understand how they thought. Success leaves clues, and those clues are everywhere, in books, in biographies, in history. Andrew Carnegie mentored Napoleon Hill. He opened the door, but Hill had to walk through. He had to learn what makes success tick. And he found the truth. It's not magic. It's not reserved for the chosen few. It's a formula, a mindset, a way of being. You want to rise? Then you must study the climb. You must treat growth like your religion, because every breakthrough is built on the back of learning. Every transformation starts with awareness, and awareness turns into action, but not just any action. Consistent, focused, fearless. And that only comes from those who are all in. No toe in the water, no halfway hustle, no safety net stitched out of backup plans and excuses. You burn the boats, you remove the exits, you decide, this is the mountain, and I am climbing it, or I am dying on the way. That level of intensity is rare, which is why results are rare. And yes, people will call you obsessed. Good. Obsession is the language of mastery. Show me someone average, and I'll show you someone balanced, comfortable, careful. Show me someone legendary, and I'll show you someone consumed. Not consumed by ego, but by mission, by vision, by something so massive it pulls them forward even when their strength is gone. And this is where most dreams die. Not in failure, not in rejection, but in distraction, in mediocrity, in the comfortable chaos of good enough. You don't lose your dream because the world took it. You lose it because you traded it for validation, for ease, for likes, for safety, for the illusion of success instead of the real thing. Because the real thing is hard, it's lonely, it's quiet. It's early mornings and late nights and missed parties and people who don't understand. It's years of building without applause. It's waking up every day and doing the thing that no one sees, for a result that no one guarantees. But that's where greatness lives, in that deep, unshakable, unreasonable decision to keep going anyway, to build when no one claps, to fight when no one watches, to believe when no one understands. That's what separates the few from the forgotten. Because most will talk, few will act, fewer still will finish, and almost no one will keep walking when the dream seems dead. But that's the secret. Most dreams don't die because they were impossible. They die because you stopped breathing life into them. You let the fire go out. You let the noise get louder than your voice. You forgot that greatness has always been, and will always be, a choice. Do you want me to continue with the next section? Greatness is not found, it is forged. In silence, in solitude, in moments when no one believes and everything in you begs to quit, and you still take the next step. You see, your dream doesn't need more time. It doesn't need more motivation. It doesn't need approval from the world. It needs you, the real you, the version of you that's been buried under hesitation, under fear, under the rust of delay and doubt. Because somewhere deep down, you already know the dream wasn't random. It was assigned. You were called to it, hand-picked by whatever force governs the stars to carry that fire, and not just carry it, protect it, feed it, grow it, until it becomes something no one can ignore. And the world needs that version of you, the one who stops waiting for perfect, the one who stops negotiating with excuses, the one who no longer waits for support and becomes their own momentum. That's what the legends did. They didn't have more answers. They just had more courage. Courage to look foolish, to fall in public, to fail and keep failing in front of the same eyes that once doubted them. Most people hide from that. They fear judgment more than regret. But those who win, they fear wasting their potential more than anything else. So they move, they act, they build, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts. They understand what the dream is really asking. Will you become the person required to hold it? Because success isn't just about what you get. It's about what you must become to get it. And most people, they're not ready for that kind of transformation. They want the outcome, not the metamorphosis. They want the crown without the cross. But the path, it requires your evolution. It demands you shed old identities. The victim, the doubter, the almost, the someday. It demands the death of who you were so you can rise as who you must be. The world doesn't hand success to the version of you that's scared. It opens to the version of you that's ready. And readiness is a decision, not a feeling, not a mood, a declaration. You have to say to the world, I am not here to play small. Say, I will not shrink so others feel comfortable. Say, I will not let my past write the script for my future. That's what the dream demands, ownership. Full, radical, relentless ownership. No blaming, no waiting, no wishing. Because the moment you take full responsibility for where you are, you take full control over where you're going. The dream doesn't die when the world pushes back. It dies when you stop pushing forward. And if you're hearing this right now, it means the dream isn't dead. It's just waiting. Waiting for you to remember who you are. Waiting for you to stop flirting with comfort and marry commitment. Waiting for you to stop dipping your toe and dive in. No more halfway. No more hesitation. No more hiding. It's time to claim the life that's already yours. Because here's the truth. Most people will never see their dream. Not because they couldn't, but because they didn't stay long enough in the fire to become worthy of it. Most will never know what it feels like to walk in total alignment with vision. Most will never taste the power of becoming someone their younger self would worship. But you don't have to be most people. You don't have to die with the best of you still locked inside. You don't have to sit on the sidelines applauding other people's courage while burying your own. You can wake up, you can rise, you can fight, not for permission, but for purpose. Because the dream, the real dream, was never about what you do. It's about who you become. And the only question left is this. Will you become it? Stand up. Right now, wherever you are, in your mind, in your soul, rise. Because this is the line. This is the moment. This is the edge. Every dream stands here at some point. On the cliff between comfort and greatness, between survival and legacy, between who you've been and who you're about to become. And this is the truth. You don't get to stay the same and still live the dream. You don't get to play safe and still make history. You don't get to hold on to fear and carry the crown. The old you, the tired you, the scared you, the doubting you, that version must die here so the dream can live. No more excuses, no more apologies, no more waiting for the world to believe in you. Because belief doesn't start out there. It starts in here. It starts when you stare into the mirror and decide once and for all that your future is louder than your fear, that your vision is bigger than their opinions, that your fire will not go out in this lifetime. And yes, it will hurt. It will stretch you. It will shatter your ego. It will test your limits until you forget who you were before the dream found you. But that's the point. You weren't born to stay comfortable. You weren't born to just pay bills and die quietly. You were born to build something, to change something, to wake something up inside this sleeping world. And if no one told you before, let me say it now. You are enough. You have what it takes. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too lost. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, standing on the edge of the life that's been calling your name since day one. But here's the cost. No more settling. No more shrinking. No more living like your soul can wait until next year. Because dreams don't wait. Purpose doesn't pause. And destiny won't beg. You either claim it or you watch someone else live it. You either rise or you repeat. This is the moment the story changes. Right now, in this breath, you burn the script they wrote for you and start writing your own. You turn the pain into power, the fear into fire, the pressure into presence. You become the one who doesn't just dream, but delivers. The one who breaks the cycle. The one who refuses the coffin of mediocrity. The one who lives full and dies empty. Because that's the only way dreams survive, when someone decides they will not die with them. So building, rise, fight, bleed, sweat, cry, but never quit. This is your time. This is your mountain. This is your calling. And this time, the dream doesn't die. You live it. You become it. You leave the world better than you found it. And when the lights go out and history writes your name, it won't say you almost made it. It'll say you answered the call. You became the fire. And you showed the world what happens when a dreamer refuses to die. Now go. Prove them wrong. Prove yourself right. And never look back.